Sadly, we're going back to Minnesota for more retardation.
No, God!
A dude who looks so pretty,
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
who just happens to be a state rep, because of course he is,
Yes, of course.
says that there should be more storming of churches like that scumbag Don Lemon did.
Fuck off.
I'm Jazz Berganzo on this. In other news, Donald Trump just signed an executive order to reopen mental institutions. Coincidence? No, I think not. But it's what's next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Wednesday. Well, breaking news. The Attorney General and the DOJ have dropped bombs in regards to charges against Minnesota's lovely, lovely governor, the gay Tim Walz, and that clown of a mayor, Fry, and also AG Ellison, and anybody else involved in the scumbaggery of Somali, and also the terrorism that's running through its streets. Speaking of retardation, we're going to stay in Minnesota. A dude who likes to feel pretty, who just happens to be a state rep, because of course he is, says there should be more trashing of churches, more invasion of churches, more storming of churches like that scumbag Don Lemon did, and those lovely, lovely anti-ICE agitators. In other news, Donald Trump just signed an executive order to reopen mental institutions. Coincidence? No. But here we go. This comes out of the post-millennial. Trans mental rep state Lay Fink, yeah, let's just call him Fink, calls for agitators to keep storming churches until ICE is out of Minnesota. Quote, actions like this, nonviolent resistance in the face of government inaction or oppression, are essential, and they must continue till ICE is out of our state. Key words, nonviolent resistance. Yeah. How's that working? Of course, that is the wonderful state rep right there. Yes, a dude who likes to feel pretty. A trans mental male Minnesota state rep has come under fire for encouraging anti-ICE agitators to storm churches in the wake of such an action that took place this past Sunday in St. Paul, with one man filming himself harassing congregants as others interrupted the worship service with chants. Yes, even lovely, lovely Don Lemon shoved the microphone in the pastor's face and harassed him. Yeah, the mighty has fallen. Democratic state rep Fink wrote on Facebook, yesterday protesters disrupted services at City's Church in St. Paul, where the leader of a local ICE office also served as pastor. Oh my gosh, run him out of town and hang him in the town square. The protesters caused outrage, promises of retribution and prosecution, and the usual round of upset. But it had me thinking, for the past 24 hours, of the actions of ACT UP and Wham in 1989, who staged a die-in and protest in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, an action that similarly brought condemnation during a time when out-of-control crisis was left to destruction for far too long. Gee, I wonder who caused that destruction. Guarantee it wasn't the people in the church. Anyway, quote, actions like this, nonviolent resistance in the face of government action, inaction, or oppression, are essential, and they must continue until ICE is out of our state. The administration is out of the White House, and dignity and humanity for all our neighbors is achieved. Fink, who was named one of USA Today's Women of the Year in 2023. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and knew that the injustice must be confronted. He knew that. He knew that moral consciousness of the nation must be made to hear the desperate plight of those who are suffering. He knew that the only way to achieve this on a national scale was for people to rise up and together for a nonviolent revolution until all were free. So did ACT UP. And so did the people of Minneapolis, ICE out. We go from that to this. This coming out of Breitbart. Trump says he signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions. Got to get these people off the streets. That was me, but you pretty much get the gist. President Donald Trump revealed that he had signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and mental asylums, stressing the importance of getting people off the streets. Yeah, Minnesota, we're looking at you. During a press briefing on Tuesday, Donald Trump highlighted the accomplishments of his current administration. I signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums, Trump said. We're going to have to bring them back. Hate to build those suckers, but you've got to get these people off the streets. Trump went to say that while growing up in Queens, there was a place called Creedmoor. Trump shared also, he asked his mom why there were bars on the windows. He had shared his mom told him, people are very sick in that building. Quote, I'll never forget. I don't know if it's still there. because they got rid of most of them. Traumatic. The Democrats in New York, they took them down, and the people live in the streets now. That's why you have a lot of people in California and other places that they live on the streets. California, New York, Minnesota. Yeah. Let's hear from Donald.
There's a reason for bail, long tested. Signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums. We're going to have to bring them back.
Yes, make
Hate
mental
to build those
institutions
suckers.
great again.
But you got to get the people off the streets. There's a
Coincidence that these two just happen to be back to back? Nah, not really. But going back to Minnesota, the fact of the matter is that when you have out of control bullshit that's going on in that state, the scumbaggery of corruption that has cancerfied that state since Walz got into office over the last 8 years is disgusting and degrading. It's abhorrent. And then you have people running in the streets, these anti-ICE agitators who are trying to get law-abiding officers off the streets for just doing their jobs and getting the illegal, criminal illegal off the streets is getting out of hand. How many videos have we seen already with them breaking into federal officers' cars and stealing weapon caches and other equipment, and like they've achieved some great thing, like they hit the lotto or something. And then you have the government of ICE, Fry, who does nothing but says, get ICE out of the streets. A.G. Ellison, who's a scumbag in his own right, who's got a long history of doing jack shit for the people of Minnesota, except defending the bad guys. And then you have Tampon Timmy, who basically has been a, quote, a ridiculous buffoon of a governor for the last 8 years who have done nothing but wreck that state. This was the same guy who actually signed a law, for more abortions in that state. Of course, he also signed another law that would allow child castration. But he's such a good governor. He was a wonderful governor and a wonderful vice presidential candidate. When you have a dude like Phil Pretty, who says there should be more storming of churches, no one should be surprised by this. Because when you have a severe mental illness like this guy has and others in that state, what do you expect? I thought California was extremely shitty in how they treated their people in the laws that they passed. I thought New York was very shitty in the way they treated their people and the laws that they signed, the laws they signed, including, a wonderful, wonderful election of a wonderful gentleman in Kami Mandami. Yeah, but New Yorkers are going to find out real hard, how bad it can truly be. But with the Minnesota says, hold my beer, $20 billion in Somali fraud and scumbags running around terrorizing the streets. Minnesota, stay classy. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace.